Hello guys, and I'm starting with the tissue system. Before proceeding for primary and secondary growth or primary secondary tissues, it's very important for you all to understand the concept of tissue system, because if you don't clarify your doubts regarding tissue system, the type of tissue systems in the plant kingdom, then it will be very difficult for you all to understand the next topics regarding primary and secondary growth. So for that you need to understand, you need to uh, fix your mind on these particular points so that it really helps you all for future topics. So here we go. There are three main types of tissue systems, which are the epidermal tissue system, the ground tissue system, and the vascular tissue system. So many students I have observed, they generally get confused regarding these three types of tissue systems. They cannot differentiate them very clearly. So tissue system mainly has these particular subdivisions: epidermal tissue system, ground tissue system, and the vascular tissue system. And separately I will take up these three subheadings individually in my videos. So the first subheading of tissue system is epidermal tissue system. It has the outer protective layer of the primary body, or it forms the outer protective layer of the primary plant body. Epidermis, as I have already told you, it is the outermost protective layer found in primary plant body, replaced by another dermal system, which is commonly known as periderm, during secondary growth. So when a plant is showing secondary growth, then epidermis is replaced by this dermal system, which is commonly known as periderm. Single cellular layer. Epidermis is a single cellular layer forming a continuous layer but leaving certain small pores for stomata and lenticels. Lenticels are breathing pores found on barks or old plant parts, commonly barks on the stem, showing secondary growth. So lenticels are breathing pores present on barks, and stomata, as you all know, these are the main gaseous pores for gaseous exchange. So epidermis is a continuous layer, but there are some small pores for stomata and lenticels. Derived from dermatogen of apical meristem, and if you recall, the theory was histogen theory given by Hanstein. Mostly single layered. Epidermis is a mostly single layered tissue system, but many times it may be bi or multi-layered, like in case of leaves of nerium and ficus. So epidermis is a single layered tissue system, but it may be bi or multi-layered, as in case of leaves in nerium and ficus. The cells are irregular in outline, without intercellular spaces, without any gaps, without any space, have large central vacuole and peripheral cytoplasm. So there is a large central vacuole with peripheral cytoplasm. Cells have leucoplasts, anthocyanins, chromoplasts. These are all plastids, but no chloroplasts, except in guard cells, but present in some aquatic and shade loving plants. So cells of epidermis, they generally have plastids like leucoplast, anthocyanins, and chromoplast, but they commonly or mainly lack chloroplast, except in case of guard cells. Guard cells are surrounding stomata, so guard cells have chloroplast, and chloroplasts are also found in the epidermal cells of some aquatic and shade loving plants. Substances like mucilage, tannin, calcium carbonate crystals, which are commonly known as cystoliths, are found in case of epidermal tissue system. So these are very common in epidermal tissue system, which are mucilage, tannin, calcium carbonate crystals, commonly known as cystoliths. Outer layer is thin, but inner layer is very thick due to presence of substances like suberin or cutin. These are meant for mechanical support. The outermost layer in case of root is known as epiblemma. So it's not called as epidermis, but it's known as epiblemma in case of root. And root epiblemma has root hairs which are commonly unicellular in nature, and these root hairs are needed for water and mineral absorption from soil. Now here comes the function or functions regarding the epidermal tissue system, and the first function is it is the primary covering protective layer needed to withstand mechanical stress, prevents excessive water loss. For this, several adaptations like presence of thick cuticle, wax, hairs are seen. So prevents excessive water loss to prevent that portion of plant to not become dehydrated or to not become dry, to keep it moist, to keep it hydrated. Epidermal tissue system prevents excessive water loss, and for this several adaptations are present. For example, like thick cuticle, a thick cuticle layer is present, wax is present, hairs are present. So these are needed to prevent excessive water loss. And the last function is it helps in photosynthesis and also helps in secretion. So this is the end of the epidermal tissue system, and in my next video I will discuss the ground tissue system. Thank you.